have a minute? Do you have a lot of minutes? Seems like I ask you this a lot. We have a mammoth task on our hands. This is the day before Mother's Day, and it's not been requested necessarily, but we've decided, or we've all come together and decided that we'll make spaghetti and meatballs for Mother's Day. So I hope you got, can you read this?
Mammoth.
This is the appropriate t-shirt. I got the Bantu knots. I think we're ready to do this. So spaghetti meatballs, and then we're going to also provide grilled chicken and Mediterranean salad, which we will not be making today, but there will be some shorts coming about how to make homemade ranch and homemade lemon vinaigrette. And then maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'm planning to make a miso lemon marinade for the chicken, which will be delicious and odd because none of this is Japanese, but miso adds like this great, it gets some base to it. So anyway, I hope you're ready. I'm not sure I am, so let's go for it. First and foremost, we're going to make something called a slurry. So what it's going to require is some breadcrumbs. I have about some fresh breadcrumbs here. That's about 2 cups of breadcrumbs. 2 eggs. This is grated Asiago and Parmesan cheese. I'm going to put like, I said it's about 1/2 cup, probably, I don't know, 3/4 of a cup. And we're going to do a little bit of dried herbs. This is oregano, dried basil, Scotian nutmeg, like a couple sprinkles. Then I'm just gonna, like, if you look here, this much here is about a teaspoon. If you open it up a little bit, that much is about a tablespoon. I'm just gonna do a teaspoon of, this is sea salt. I forget who I learned this from. Is there Martin Yan? Somebody like that. That's about a teaspoon. A lot of pepper. About a tablespoon of chopped garlic in there. And then we're going to take this thing. We're going to be friends with this thing today. This should be grated onion, but I can't stand what it does to my eyeballs, so I'm going to go ahead and blitz it. You can put this in a regular blender or a food processor if you have it. It's probably going to take a couple times because you kind of want it sort of liquidy because it's going to provide some of the moisture in your slurry. I think that's almost there. Yep, it looks good. Okay, so here we go. The thing I failed to mention is we're making this slurry to go inside our meatball dough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stir this up first and see what the consistency is. It should be sort of like a paste. And what this does, it sort of protects your meatballs from getting too dry. I have some milk here on standby just in case. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of dark in here, y'all. I apologize. It's kind of a dreary, rainy day. Perfect for doing this kind of project. Okay, so you can see it's pasty, but not quite there. So I'm going to just add a little. I would say less than a tablespoon. Let me just show you. I'm just going to put this tablespoon here. You don't want it too wet. That's more like it. Okay, if you're ready, I'm ready. time for the meatballs. So what we have here is about 2¼ pounds of ground beef, about 3/4 of a pound of Italian sausage. I know it's a random amount of ingredients, but all I had was this much sausage and all I had was this much ground beef. So I'm just gonna make meatballs out of all of it. So here we go. In there with that slurry, right? And a dough hook. We're gonna work this poor thing to death, probably. So what I'm gonna do is, as you can see, it's trying to come up over the edges. I'm gonna help it a little bit. I'm just pushing it down with my spatula. So what we're looking for is somewhat, shoot, how do I say this? It should be kind of sticky, the dough, but not too sticky. So I'll show you what I can in terms of like what I'm looking for. It's actually feeling a little dry, so there's something else I need to think about. Like, get it to a certain point, let's say after like 3 or 4 minutes. And if it's not creaming together, go ahead and add a little milk. The problem is I haven't had enough time to let my slurry work. So you just want the meat to get ever so creamy, and you'll see the proteins sort of string together. Doesn't look like we have that yet. So the slurry creates moisture for your meatballs, and I learned this idea from Chef John from Food Wishes. He makes something called the world's fastest meatball. We're not doing that today, not at all. No, we're doing the world's slowest meatball. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up for a second and see what it looks like. I think it was probably about a minute. Yeah, so we haven't quite got the creaminess yet I'm looking for. Tells me it's not thoroughly mixed yet, and that's sort of the thing you gotta look out for, especially when you overcrowd your mixing bowl. Let's give it, I'm gonna give it another 2 minutes. You know, at this point, like, you see how it's sort of doughy? You could leave it at this. I'm not seeing enough protein strings, fat strings. And if you want to, you could put another egg in here. I'm just gonna try milk because of the pork and the brioche I used. There were brioche butter crumbs. They have a lot of butter in them, breadcrumbs. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little milk. Just so you know, another tablespoon. We're gonna just try it and see what happens. Of course, when it's to the consistency I'm looking for, I'll show you exactly. You see, okay, so it's really kind of moist and a little tacky. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw a piece of this in the microwave, and we're going to give it a taste and see what it tastes like and check for seasoning. So here's, a nuked version of what's going to be the meatball dough. You can see it's cooked through. So I'm going to take a sample. You take a sample.
Bueno.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. Very moist. Enough salt. A lot of good flavors going on in there. Yeah. Okay. So what we're gonna do now is make meatballs. I had to put some gloves on because I don't like getting raw meat on my hands. Now we're learning today, both of us, all of us, because I've never made meatballs with an ice cream scoop before. But we're going to try it and see how it all works out. So Looks good.
We're not gonna go for those giant.
No, we're not. No, we're
meatballs
not. We are
that you
not.
sometimes see.
We're not.
Yeah, those seem like they'd be really hard to cook. They'd take a long time.
So as you can see, it's going to go pretty fast. I'm not really doing a lot of kneading of it or forming of it.
And you're not weighing out each one.
No, I'm not. Just trying to like just whatever this measure is what we're making.
Okay.
Oh, let's do this one instead. How about that? Let's try to get somewhere Italian in the neighborhood. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fry. We wound up with 32 meatballs. There's 16 here and then 16 on here. Wound up with 32 meatballs. I'm going to go ahead and fry them all. And then I'm going to start the sauce. So Chef John loves pushing these in the oven. And I would do that, except I want all the deliciousness that's going to happen in this pan with the frying of the meatballs in order to make my sauce. Okay? So when this comes up to heat, we'll start. Once you put them down, don't move them for at least a minute to 30 seconds because these are pretty soft. If you do them in a clockwise motion, you know that one needs to be turned first. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take all these and put them back in the refrigerator. You see? My heat was up too high. But okay, so I've just discovered that these meatballs are very tender and almost too tender. So in the next scene, I think what you'll see me do is like actually roll these meatballs a little harder so they stay together better. I just wanted you to see, you know, they're meatballs, but I don't think they're going to stay together too well. Much firmer, and I took out about 3 or 4 tablespoons of oil out of this pan. So now we're going to try again. Doesn't want to come off.
We're at like 5.5 heat level here.
Yeah. They're now in a state where they're really cold. They're not frozen by any means, but they're really cold. And I want the crust to form on these meatballs before I turn them. That's what we had the first time. The problem we had the first time. So I'm just making sure that they're hot enough but not too hot. And we're just going to try again. So these are behaving much better. They're holding together, not over browning. Can I get you in here? Next thing is sofrito. So we're going to take all these onions. I'm going to blitz them first. Fairly well broken down. Like, See, it's almost like a puree. So I'm going to take these out and do the same with its friends. So we've got some bell pepper, we've got some celery, some red, and onion, and with some garlic. And spaghetti and meatballs. I haven't seen a recipe so far that does this. The reason why I'm doing this is because I love to add vegetables into anything as well as I can. And then when I cook down this sofrito, you'll understand that you won't even be able to taste any of this. But the thing is, like, you get a lot of fiber and a lot of nutrients from the vegetables. So, put this all in here. You're going to let this caramelize and come down to almost practically nothing. And this caramelized stuff on the bottom of the pan is just flavor. There we go. Okay, so here's the sofrito. It's gotten pretty well caramelized. Most of that's also fond from the bottom of the pot. What we're going to do now is unload this entire thing of tomato paste. We're going to run this around the pan for a little bit and let it caramelize. Okay, so we got, see how it's like sort of sticking to the bottom of the pan? It's caramelizing pretty nicely. And oh, what's this? How did this get here? You're gonna put this fine glass of white wine in here and let it cook down. I say that about 6 to 8 ounces of white wine. And you want to let it cook down until it's dry again. Meanwhile, look at our meatballs. They're all ready to go. So what we're going to do is, oh goodness, we're going to let these come to room temperature and put them in the refrigerator until tomorrow. We made way too many, but that just means people can take some home. So you might be asking yourself, when am I going to add salt? And that's a good question. I might add a little right now. I should probably taste it. But I know it's really sour right now and tasting pretty brown. The tomato paste and the wine are going to make it pretty tart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the tomatoes in with the water and let it cook for a little bit, and then I'm going to taste it for salt. So have you guys ever watched like Alton Brown's like San Marzano caper? You know, like he had this whole thing like how things are like smuggled or not official in their labeling. I think he said Cento was not the way to go, but this is what I could get. I think he settled on the one with the red and white label that has the literal San Marzano on the front. But these are going to be fine. So here we go. I'm going to put 3 cans in here because I like a lot of sauce. Looks like we're going to have enough for sure. I was worried that we wouldn't have enough. Okay. So what I'm going to do is stir this around. turn it down a little bit. I'm going to rinse all these cans out. Just stay with me now. I'm going to go in here. This is filtered water from the refrigerator. I'm just kind of rinsing them out as best I can. So it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. That's gonna be more than enough sauce. I'm excited. I was afraid it wasn't gonna be enough. Now I'm gonna blitz this and let it start coming up to temperature, and then I'm gonna test for seasoning. It's a piece of basil from the can.
Nice.
So, quick helpful hint, make sure this is fully submerged, otherwise it's going to get everywhere, and I'm not looking forward to that, so put in here. See, I told you. Did I get it on you?
You did. Nice.
It's hard. So this is pretty raw. It's starting to come to a boil. So what you want to taste for is like, is it salty right now? If it's not salty right now, you're doing good. You can probably add a little salt. If it is salty right now, I don't have to tell you. The more you cook this down, the saltier it will become. So that's why I did not add salt to this whole mixture. So my advice to you is when you start the sofrito and the paste and the wine and all that lovely stuff, don't salt it until you've tasted it, because this is going to cook down. I don't know like how much, but it's going to cook down, and the more you cook it down, the saltier it will go. The saltier it will become. Okay, so it's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit sour, not salty, but it has salt in it. I'm going to show Chris what I mean by that.
Yeah, it doesn't have any saltiness to it.
No.
I'd say like whatsoever. It is sweet. It's a little bit
sour.
A little bit sour.
And no salt. No.
It's kind of watery.
Yeah.
It is a huge volume, but I think it's got lovely flavor minus the salt.
Absolutely. That's the bonus of making the sofrito and cooking it in the pot you fried the meatballs in, because the meatballs add like umami. It adds like a base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and simmer this for a while, probably about an hour, and then I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to let it cool down completely to room temperature. Happy Mother's Day. We are back. I'm going to show you the results of what we did last night. Here is our sauce from yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and start this. It's about 3 hours before the guests are going to arrive, so I'm going to start heating this up and make it good and yummy. About 30-45 minutes before the guests come, I'll put the meatballs in, but I'm just going to go ahead and start this on a pretty low flame. Around there. Okay. One of our courses is going to consist of grilled chicken breast. I've got here about 6 to 7 4-ounce chicken breasts. I guess that's 5. 6 4-ounce chicken breasts. And I'm going to marinate them with something pretty cool. This is called Make It Dairy Free, this website, and let me see if I can get the guy's name. Okay, this recipe is by Larisha Bernard, and they run a YouTube channel. I'll get that channel in just a minute, but this is going to be easy loaded Mediterranean salad, and they're vegan, but I'm going to make this with chicken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use his marinade, which is really awesome. It has white miso and a bunch of different stuff, a bunch of other Mediterranean stuff. So we're going to try this out. So if you'll, over here, I'm going to do 1/3 of a cup of apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons warm water, this is extra virgin olive oil, 2 tablespoons of that, maybe 3. It's gonna be pretty tart, I think. About a tablespoon of rosemary. It says 2 cloves of garlic. I don't know what that is, so we're putting that much in. Two tablespoons of white miso. I know it doesn't look white, but it is. Let that go. I love cleaning stuff up. And then
that's Dijon?
Yeah, it's going to be about 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Spoons are getting nasty. And then, let me check. You said 3 tablespoons. This is nutritional yeast. It's supposed to make things taste cheesy. Adds a lot of B vitamins. And my brother is currently training for another triathlon, so I want to make sure he gets all those in. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then the juice of 1 lemon. Now he marinates tofu with this, and I'm going to marinate my chicken. Not that there's anything wrong with tofu, it's just that we have a lot of people coming today that don't like tofu. So there we go. A lot of suction on there. Okay, so then, I don't know where I'm going to put this. Forgive my countertop. All right, so here we go. This is going to marinate for about a good 2 hours. Give her a good massage and put her back in the fridge. The YouTube channel that I was looking for was Andrew Bernard, and the subtitle is The Nard Dog Cooks. And then I'm also going to use his lemon vinaigrette dressing from his Make It Dairy Free website. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to zest some lemon. I already washed this off, so it's easier to zest a lemon if it's whole. And you can skip this step if you feel uncomfortable about using lemon zest from modern day lemons from the supermarket. Now we need a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Let me double check. See where we're at. 2 tablespoons red wine vinegar. Crushed garlic clove. I don't know how much that is. It's going to be that much. Dijon. 1 to 2 tablespoons. If you like yours on the tart side, go ahead and do 2 tablespoons. I'm just going to do 1 and taste it, because like this is going to get pretty tart pretty fast. Oregano. There you go. It's about a teaspoon. Ground black pepper. It does call for salt. I'm going to taste it first to make sure it's not too salty, and then I'll add salt. 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. So I'm going to give it a buzz, and then I'm going to taste it for seasoning to make sure. Thank you. You know, I think I could use sugar, but maybe not. Yeah. It's got a little bitter edge to it.
Woo!
What? More oil?
It is tart.
More oil, you think, then?
No, I think you're right. I think some sugar.
Okay. 1/2 teaspoon of sugar.
Okay.
More garlic, you said?
Yeah.
I taste garlic.
Well, I mean, I love garlic, though.
Yeah, no such thing as too much. Okay.
Yeah.
Much better. I'm gonna throw it in here.
That was almost night and day difference for me.
Yep. I'm not making a lot because I don't want to store it forever. I want to make sure we use it up. So we're gonna make a choice. You can do this lemon vinaigrette, and then coming up in a second, I'm gonna make homemade ranch, buttermilk ranch. Oh, we're gonna make ranch. So when you don't have buttermilk, I'm going to show you a tip here. First thing we need is 1/2 cup of buttermilk. So we're going to go right here to line 4. Go. And then you're going to drop a little bit of lemon juice and then mix it up. Sorry about that, y'all. So this will make the milk solids cream up and curdle like a buttermilk would. Oop. Don't need no seeds. All right. Then we need 1/2 cup sour cream. I'm going to call this 1/2 cup, I think. Oops, sorry. And then 1/2 cup of Duke's. So it asks for dill. I don't have that, so I'm going to use Old Bay seasoning. Its main ingredient is celery salt, so I'm going to use a teaspoon of this. It also has like red pepper and black pepper and stuff. I'm going to put a teaspoon of this in and then taste for seasoning. So let's see here. Don't really want to dump it all in there. That's Old Bay. And then it asks for dried parsley, and rosemary, but this is all fresh. So I've got basil, rosemary, and a little bit of thyme from our garden. As for fresh dill, we don't have that. So, and then we're gonna do garlic powder. Onion powder. This is onion powder, I hope. Does it need garlic? I think it, we already put the garlic powder in, but let's make sure we got everything. Black pepper. Let's see if this turns out looking anything like ranch. Ranch. Oh, cool.
Looks like ranch.
Looks like ranch. Let's see if we can get a spoon. I think more salt.
Yeah.
Much better. Put it in here.
Nice.
Here it is. Put in the fridge. We're going to make the Mediterranean salad. I want to show you the components I've got. Most of them follow the recipe for Andrew Bernard, but here we go. We have some Bibb lettuce here that I just put through the salad spinner, and a little bit of romaine. Should make it nice and crispy with baby romaine. Then over here I've got artichoke hearts, tomatoes, yellow peppers, cucumber, radishes. I poached these just lightly for a few minutes. This is broccoli florets. Then we got green onions and washed blueberries. All going on our salad. So let's see how this is going to work out. All right, so we're not going to dress this salad at all. We're going to leave the dressing on the side for everyone to enjoy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the components on the salad and then put it in the refrigerator. So it's waiting on us. My plan is to pile up the grilled chicken in the middle. That's my plan. We'll see how far we get. But that's kind of where we're going with this. With cucumbers, broccoli florets, these are practically raw. They're just a little easier to eat. Okay, that's good. And he cuts these up. I'm not going to because I'm lazy.
I don't think you need to. I love biting into those when they pop on you.
I'm lazy. These are little watermelon tomatoes. They did not like sitting in the refrigerator. Lost a bunch of them. Artichoke hearts. I put a little muffalata sauce on these. These are just canned in water. And oops, I'm losing them. Losing tomatoes everywhere. For a little interesting color, a little interesting flavor, as carefully as I can. Not doing very good, but as carefully as I can.
Gosh, it looks pretty though.
Doesn't it? Can't we take a picture of it with the chicken piled high in the middle?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to get the broom out. Blueberries, more blueberries on the floor than I am in the salad. There we go. Oh, so pretty. So pretty.
It is gorgeous.
Okay, so then last but not least, can't have a salad in this family without onions.
Green onion, yeah.
That looks spectacular.
It looks amazing.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm going to put this in the fridge. What I'm going to do is show you what I did here. Got that all off camera. I put in like a whole sprig of basil, which I'll fish out right before serving. It's reduced really nicely, and now we're gonna, it's like an hour before guests come, so I'm gonna go ahead and put in all of these meatballs. And you can see they turned out pretty good, in spite of my shortcomings yesterday and it trying to be meatloaf. So now, look at that. Spaghetti meatballs? You asked for spaghetti meatballs? We know her.
Excellent placements.
So good.
Ooh, cross. Oh,
Right?
nice.
No sticking, no nothing. This is exactly right.
Wee. And close.